We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. Don't know if I can decipher how your mind works. Yeah, you leave me wondering what it's like to feel yourself.
Hello and good afternoon to all of my YouTube friends. Welcome back to another edition of Michelle's Life on Repeat. You ever wonder why I chose that name? It's because every day I wake up and I think, here we go. We're going to repeat yesterday. Hopefully it's a little bit better than it was yesterday. Having chronic illness, some days they just seem to go on and on and on. You go to sleep in pain, you wake up in pain, and you try to accomplish things in between your day before you go to sleep again and start all over the next morning. Other days, you wake up and you have no pain. It's magically gone somewhere and you don't know what you did to make it go, but you're gonna work with it and you're gonna use your energy as creatively and as positively as you can. So that's why I chose Michelle's Life on Repeat. And here today is my third episode of my Hawaiian day, where I'm gonna finish showing you how I do my watering for my orchid collection. And I also wanted to share with you a very, very unique orchid I got in the mail. Isn't that phenomenal? I'll tell you more about her in just a minute. Thanks for joining me. Let's jump on in. Cheers. Good morning. Hey everybody. It's Michelle and I'm feeling kind of tropical today. I've got my beautiful pink phalaenopsis here in front of me. I've got on my Hawaiian dress. I've got on my grandma's ring, my purple ring from my grandma who grew up in Hawaii. I'm going to tell you about this plant. This orchid, now I cannot pronounce it. That's one of my failures in life, correct pronunciations. Vanda Miss Joaquin Douglas. Can you see that? She has this stake that I put between her. These are all roots. Let me put her down here. She's in my glass container. Isn't that wild? No dirt, no rocks, no medium needed. These are roots and they love air, they love high humidity, and these will grow really tall and then have buds that come off about 12 on a spike. They call them inflorescence, the spike that grows up and then the balloons come off of that. Isn't she amazing? I bought two of them. These are two plants, 1 and 2. I just couldn't resist. But let me tell you some more about her. I'll lay her down and put her back in her vase later. She is, and this is how you pronounce her name because I can't do it too well. Let's see if you can hear.
Papillion.
Papillion? Something to that effect. Try again.
Papillion.
Papillion. Interesting. That's her species. From Singapore. And let me show you a picture of her up close. That would be what her buds look like. How have you all been? Hopefully great. I had some setbacks. There's a beautiful picture. I had a terrible, terrible setback this week. Almost ended up in the ER again. Can you see all that? Hopefully it's clear when I look back on the video. Yes, indeed. I almost ended up in the ER again. Very scary. I was home alone and I had a vestibular migraine and I could not sit up as like I am right now. I couldn't stand, couldn't walk. I fell over forward and I belly crawled like a bear to the sink to throw up. And it kept going on and on and on. And my mama came over to take care of me. Thank you, Mama. And I called my husband. He was unfortunately out of state. He talked me down off the cliff of panic and asked me a few questions, reminded me that it might be better if I take the nausea pill and settle things down. And of course, that helped. It helped tremendously. Had to take my nausea pill, and then I had to take a migraine pill and sleep for 5 or 6 hours. But I couldn't be upright fully that day at all. And then the next day got a little bit better, a little less wobbly, and today's the third day, and me and Bella took a walk down memory lane. Actually, we took a walk on our dog path that we do, but I brought my cane with me because my balance is still off a little bit, and she walked slower, and we passed a couple that were like power walking, and I was like, go for it, man, go for it. And he said, yeah, to my wife, she's always faster than me. I can never outbeat her. I said, you go, girl. And I told him, I don't think I'll ever be that fast. And he said, doesn't matter how fast you go, it's the point that you're out and you're going. And I'm like, so true. So true. So me and my cane and my dog, we did the walk. Then we came home and watered the garden. Let me show you our watering day. I started the video the day that we had on the Hawaiian dress, and I was waiting for my orchids to arrive. And while I was waiting, I was watering and filming for you. So let's go backwards in time. Well, I hope, ooh, I can see the sunshine lines. Ooh, trippy. And take you back to part 3. Thanks for showing up today. I look forward to talking to you in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do that. There's a little button somewhere down there below that little arrow, and it says subscribe, and there's no cost. It's not like signing up for magazines or music records that show up. Remember the day the CDs would show up at your door and you'd have to pay for it? None of that stuff. It's free. It's just a way for YouTube to know that people are enjoying my channel, so they will thus share the channel with more people randomly who might be searching for orchids or chronically ill issues. So if you can help me by subscribing, that would be great. Let's watch the video. So I'm gonna start watering some of my orchids. I have here this first one. I noticed the tips were turning brown when I brought her up to water. And online, the brain online said that means she's not getting enough water in between her waterings, or her roots might be compromised. So I'm just gonna give her a good thirsty drink. I'm gonna let her sit right in the water, and I'll pour some more water additionally over the top of her. I'll have to readjust the camera so you can see. This Phalaenopsis has it has beautiful colors. That's as vibrant as it is. I don't want to dress in that color. But her roots, if you get close enough to see, there's some that are hinted of green still. This one up here has green tint to it. Green, silver. Way down at the bottom is a little bit of silver and a new grow tip. So to me, I'll leave this for probably 2 more days and check and see if she's turned silver. She's not needing anything now. I will run humidity, air pure, with those little air, you put essential oils in sometimes in the water and it misters. I will run a mister by her. Oh, mister. My husband and I were laughing last night or 2 nights ago about the Carol Burnett show, and also about I Love Lucy. Sometimes he calls me his Lucy. And when I get all not able to talk very clear and I'm slow, he says, Vita Vita Vegemin. He does that whole scene. And yeah, that's when you know people love you. Okay, one more Phalaenopsis. She's got her blooms nearing the end of their life. They're kind of hanging limp. And I like them fresh. I probably, when she starts dropping them, I will cut these all the way back down to the base. So let's check this last Phalaenopsis for down here. I see some moisture in here and a green tip. My dog's barking, pardon me. I see some dry ones though over here. So I am gonna wager on the 50-50 and give it a smidge of water. I'm not gonna soak it like we did the first one. I have new bark in here. It's Orchids bark, and it's really dry. It doesn't hold any water until it gets old and ages. So that got a little drink. The green became greener. And I will put that to drip. Dogs bark. One is Sogo Vivian, and she has not changed much. She's, I think, adapted to the wood. Let me put the camera down. But the spike hasn't gotten any longer. The roots turn green. She did have a couple tips that got hard and I snipped them. But she does have a little tiny growth growing right there. Can you see that? I'll get you close to the camera lens. Maybe. I will force the camera lens to see it. There she is, peekabooing. She's got a root tip. And this is my old version of the BL Yellow Bird. Just hanging on barely. It almost died and then it started to decide to grow once I mounted it. And I don't know how she'll fare through the winter, but let me try to zoom you in close so you can see her little growths. See that? She's got one tiny little thing. Little growth. But that's why I bought a second plant today. Much bigger, much hardier, and hopefully I'll see flowers sometime this year. You see that? That microchip, Dendrobium microchip, it snuck up on me. But there we're coming into view. These would officially be the first rebuds that I have done with an orchid that I've had in my care. She came budded last year. She's gone through the year. She's taken a beating. She put up with me. And she's got two little, they open up to yellow flowers with polka dots. And again, to me, they smell like cinnamon. I just love them. Dendrobium microchip or Dendrobium chocolate chip. I moved some dendrobiums that were hanging downstairs up here, and I got the shelf put up. So they need to be watered today. This is a dendrobium. This is a Maxillaria tenuifolia. It's supposed to have coconut smelling flowers. They have eluded me. I have no spikes, I have no buds, I have no flowers, but I think the plant is beautiful. So I put up with her. I think she likes it a lot hotter and a lot sunnier. I've moved her around multiple places. I haven't figured out the best. And then at the end is one that was almost dying, and I rescued her and mounted it onto this mount. Let me bring her down close for you. And she just loves it. I come in daily on the hot days, twice a day. She's got that cane. She's like, I won't die on you. I'll keep going. We're a team. We're in this together. Let me tell you what her name is. SLC Long Life Angel Paradise. She's supposed to be a splash petal pink with yellow and red. And I got her from Fantasy Orchids. And she didn't like my original setup, nearly died, and then she's surviving on this mount. Mr. Yellowbird. All right. So go Vivian. She's a Phalaenopsis, so remember the monopodials don't want water in their root, in their canes. That's why I have her upside down. They don't want water in between their leaves. It rots them. And then I hang her upside down. And she drips down into a bucket down below. This one has finished flowering for me this week, the kryptonite. So now she's getting partial shade and she'll take a winter rest, but it's not quite winter yet. So I'm going to keep giving her little drinks because she has some growing here. Here's a little one, and here. So grow, grow, grow your greenery. All right, let's do what's on the shelf over here. This is that dendrobium I showed you. Ooh, she does like her water. And when I get up close, I'll show you all the tiny little new roots growing. I might have to retransplant her, but I'm afraid to do anything else with her. She's a little wobbly. But can you see? She's got tons of white little roots going on in there. Grow, grow, grow! And she's got the little spike. So she's been watered today. Today is no longer Monday. I will change her tag out to read Wednesday. I have a bucket of colored tags and I can write the day of the week on them. I tried to write just the day that they needed water on them, but it changed with the weather. It was a variable that kept changing. So now I just take them out and put the new tag in when I water it. So I know that it was Wednesday today that she got watered. Do I not have any more Wednesday tags? We will make one. Thanks for spending time with me today. Hopefully I'm not boring you off your rocker. Wednesday. All right, moving on. These all have tags saying they were done on Monday or Friday. So Monday was just Tuesday, Wednesday, just 2.5 days ago. It looks pretty dry. It likes high humidity. This is my Stratiotus. She's growing on. So I will, and see the top? It's shiny and it still leaves growing. So I will give her another drink. I have 3 of these, 3 plants which sit, I'll show you over here, on a tray of pebbles that have water underneath them. So its own little microclimate. And I'll have to change her out to a Wednesday tag. This dendrobium is Hawaiian Punch. I haven't seen her bloom yet, so I'll be excited when that happens. She was watered on Monday also. Take that tag out. This one is all coarse bark, hardly anything else mixed in with it. And I can see her roots are happy and growing. July, I made a turnaround. I decided to get out of the I'm gonna keep overwatering and killing my orchid club and go into the get some label clubs and know when to water her club. So I've been doing better. Normally I look at that and I would see dry bark and go, oh, she's thirsty. She needs it, she needs it. But inside they were not needing it. As I think Nina says on Ninja Orchids, she says, listen to your plants. They'll tell you what they need. This is my joy. This right here is my joy. Taking out the tag from Monday. I'll put in the Wednesday tag. This one is called LCG Roebling Beach View. And I didn't get to see it bloom yet. But when I go down under all that sphagnum moss, there's like so many happy roots. I have sphagnum moss on the top layer, but most of it is the orchiata bark. And so I am just tickled. I told my husband, I finally have roots. I finally have roots. Yeah. So that makes me happy. So I'll look forward to one day seeing flowers. It's fun to watch just the green, just to see roots grow. This one, I lost its tag. Can't quite remember which one it was, but it was dying and all the other bulbs were rotting off, so I saved this one. I know because of this lump, I've had her since, where do you see that lump? I've had her since, I think, Christmas time. I just can't remember which one she is. So she probably flowered, and then now she's trying to grow her roots back up. And this is just packed sphagnum moss, and it feels a little damp still, so I'm gonna wait another day. This is my sad bunny, Melinda Marie Blue Fairy. She flowered for me this year. She was beautiful. And then when she was done flowering, she just threw her pseudo bulb down and said, I am done. But I keep watering her. That's all dead. But she keeps growing roots out the bottom. So I haven't quite given up on her yet. She's not quite dead yet. She doesn't have any leaves for photosynthesis. Fingers crossed. But I'll just give her an extra bit of juice. Come on, you can do it, juice. Change your tag out to a Wednesday tag. Here we have Cattleya Lodoglossea Honeyball times Cotterbeck Linwood. And there is, when I'm standing here, did you see any of the plant? No. Here we have it. Cattleya Lodoglossea Honeyball. And she has a new growth in the middle there. And I found I like these tops. They're a mesh. Well, they say mesh, but they're plastic. But they have air holes. All these right here are air holes. And these lines are just stripes in the material. It's made out of plastic. But these are air holes. Here, here, and then of course on the bottom, and then up top. They taper down, so they're smaller at the bottom than they are at the top. And they fit great in crocks like that. But also, as this plant grows, I don't have to repot her. I just lift her up a little higher and add more of the bark around her and down below her. I really like this. I got them as a set on that place called Amazon, the shopping store. Anyway, let's water her. She was last watered on Saturday. Now she was watered on Wednesday. I run a bunch of fans in this room. I have the ceiling fan, a side fan that's underneath where my water table is, a fan on the machine here, a fan on the rack, and another fan across the way. So I'll make sure they dry out. This one is my Alisara Stellar. She bloomed for me this year. She was a maroon star shape, very pretty. And she's got her old pseudobulb that's a little crinkly looking, getting a little underhydrated, but it might just be what it does when it's the oldest one. She has a new growth, so I'm gonna give her some drinks. And final Wednesday day. The last two I want to show you are new to me also, in that I don't know what I'm doing. They are like miniature Vandas. And I mounded it up. The roots hopefully are growing. I finally got a green tip at the top. My tags got switched when I opened them up, so I really don't know which one this is. It could be Neo Falcata. That's white. Could be. This one says Darwinara Charm Blue Moon. And I am still holding it up with one new leaf in the middle that it's grown. The other three that I bought at the same time have already joined the compost bin. They have become one with the earth.
When the lights go out and there's no doubt that I should be with, we've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. We've been on